Today we're talking about the stuff that actually gets people hurt in Pattaya. Not the stuff from the horror stories your mate's mate tells you at the pub. The stuff that's happening right now, tonight, to someone walking down Beach Road with a full wallet and zero situational awareness. And look, before anyone says it in the comments, yes, most nights in Pattaya go completely fine. Millions of tourists come through here every year and go home with nothing worse than a hangover and a bad tattoo decision. This isn't a video about how dangerous Pattaya is. It's a video about the specific, repeatable, well-documented ways a small percentage of nights go wrong, so you're not the guy it happens to. Let's start with the one that costs tourists more money per year than almost anything else in this town. The jet ski scam. Here's how it works, and it works the same way basically every single time. You rent a jet ski. The guy takes a deposit, sometimes your passport, sometimes cash, sometimes both. You go out, you have a great time, you bring it back in one piece. And somehow there's already a crack in the hull that wasn't there before. Except it was there before. It's always been there. These operators pre-damage their own equipment, photograph it, and then produce that photo the second you dock. Suddenly you owe 20,000, 30,000, sometimes 50,000 baht for damage you didn't cause. And if you argue, things escalate fast, because these guys often have muscle standing nearby for exactly this conversation. The defense here isn't clever. Film the jet ski before you take it out. Every angle, time-stamped, ideally with the operator visible in frame so he can't later claim you swapped footage. And honestly, just consider skipping jet skis on Jomtien and Pattaya beaches entirely, because the scam is so systemic that even the Thai tourist police have issued public warnings about it, and multiple foreign embassies list it by name on their travel advisory pages. Next one. The gem scam, and this one's been running for decades because it still works. A friendly local, sometimes a tuk-tuk driver, sometimes just a well-dressed guy who happens to strike up conversation, tells you there's a government sale on gemstones today only, incredible discount, and he'll take you there personally. The store looks legitimate. Real receipts, real-looking certificates. The gems are worthless. By the time you're home and get them appraised, the store's gone, the guy's gone, and you're out a few $1,000s for a bag of colored glass. Rule of thumb, and this applies everywhere in Thailand, not just Pattaya. Nobody who is genuinely trying to help you is going to personally escort you to a jewelry store. That's not hospitality. That's a referral fee walking you there. And it's not just gems either. The same setup gets used for tailored suits, for duty-free electronics, for antiques. The store changes, the mechanic doesn't. Now let's talk about the one everyone thinks they're too smart for, drink spiking. And I want to be specific here because the version people picture, some stranger dropping something in your beer while you're not looking, does happen, but it's not actually the most common version. The more common version in Pattaya is a woman, sometimes working alone, sometimes in a pair, buying you a drink or accepting one from you, and either the drink you already had gets tampered with while you're distracted, or you get talked into a special drink that's stronger than advertised. You wake up in your hotel room, sometimes hours later than you remember, wallet lighter, phone gone, no memory of how you got back. This isn't rare. This is documented enough that multiple embassies, including the UK and Australian ones, have specific warnings about it on their Thailand travel pages. The defense: don't accept drinks you didn't watch get poured, don't leave your own drink unattended, not even to use the toilet. And if you start feeling suddenly and disproportionately wrecked off one or two drinks, that's your signal to get somewhere safe immediately, not to have one more to see if it passes. The baht bus and taxi fare scam. Pattaya's blue baht buses are supposed to run a fixed shared route fare, usually around 10 to 20 baht, for a standard hop along the main roads. Tourists get quoted 100, 200, sometimes 500 baht because the driver assumes, correctly, that you don't know the real price. Meter taxis are rarer here than in Bangkok, and a lot of what you'll flag down simply doesn't use the meter at all. It's a flat negotiated fare. And that negotiation happens entirely in the driver's favor if you don't know what a fare number looks like. The fix is boring, but it works. Use Grab. It's available in Pattaya. It shows you the price before you commit, and it removes the entire negotiation. If you're taking a baht bus, know the standard fare before you get on, and hand over exact change, because handing over a 500 note for a 20 baht ride is how, sorry, no change. becomes a 480 baht donation. And late at night, watch for baht buses that quietly switch from shared route to private charter once you're the last passenger aboard. Suddenly the fare's 10 times higher and you're already moving. Ping pong shows and the bill padding scam. You get invited in, sometimes for free, sometimes for a low cover charge, and the show itself might even be exactly as advertised for the first 10 minutes. Then the drinks start arriving that you didn't order, at prices that weren't on any menu you saw, and when the bill comes it's not close to what you expected. And now there are a couple of large Thai guys near the door, and your options for negotiating that bill down have narrowed considerably. This happens on Walking Street and on CI6 constantly enough that it's practically folklore at this point, except folklore doesn't drain your account by 8,000 baht. If you go in, agree on prices out loud before anything touches your table, and if a menu doesn't have prices printed clearly, that's already your answer. The same bill padding trick runs in a lot of KTV and karaoke bars too, where a hostess fee or room charge appears on the bill that was never mentioned when you walked in. A TM skimming. Pattayas had documented skimming device busts on beach road ATMs, and the pattern's simple: a card reader overlay and a tiny camera catch your card details and PIN, and your account gets drained days later when you're already back home, and it's much harder to trace or dispute. Before you use any street ATM, give the card slot a wiggle and check whether the keypad looks like it has an extra layer sitting on top of it. If anything moves or feels loose, don't use that machine. Where you can, use ATMs physically inside banks or big hotel lobbies rather than the standalone street units, and cover the keypad with your other hand when you enter your PIN, regardless of where you are. The closed today scam, which is smaller but constant. You're walking toward a temple, a well-known shop, a specific tailor you researched, and someone intercepts you to tell you it's closed, has moved, or is having some special promotion elsewhere today, and they know a better place. It's not closed. They just get a commission for redirecting you to wherever they actually work with. If a random stranger is more informed about a business's operating hours than Google Maps is, that's not information, that's a lead-in to a different sale. Tailor shops deserve their own mention because Pattaya and Bangkok both run a version of this, where you get a suit made in 24 hours. It looks fine in the shop under their lighting with their mirrors, and it falls apart or fits wrong within weeks. Fast turnaround custom tailoring exists and can be legitimate, but if the price seems too good and the timeline seems impossibly short, you're paying for the appearance of a quality suit, not the actual thing. Motorbike rental deposit disputes. Same family as the jet ski scam. You rent a bike, they take your passport as deposit instead of cash, which by the way you should never agree to, and at return time they claim damage that wasn't there, sometimes pointing at a scratch so small you'd need a magnifying glass to have caused an argument over it. Without your passport as leverage, they've got less power over you. Pay a cash deposit instead wherever the shop allows it, and again, photograph the bike from every angle before you ride off, including the odometer and fuel gauge. Currency exchange counters are a quieter one, but they add up. Some beach road exchange booths post a great headline rate, and then apply a service fee, or a worse rate, at the actual counter than what's displayed outside, banking on you not noticing the difference on a stack of notes you're not going to recount in front of them. Compare a couple of counters before committing to one, and count your money before you walk away, not after. Airport arrival is where a lot of these trips go wrong before you've even checked into your hotel. Touts at Suvarnabhumi and Utapao will offer you a flat taxi rate to Pattaya that's 2 or 3 times what a proper metered taxi from the official rank costs. And they'll do it with a lanyard and a clipboard that makes the whole thing look official. Skip the guys inside arrivals waving signs, walk to the public taxi queue, insist on the meter, and if the driver refuses to use it, walk to the next car in line. There's always a next car in line. Day trip and island tour scams follow a similar shape to the jet ski one. You book a boat tour to Koh Larn, or one of the smaller islands, the advertised price looks reasonable, and then once you're on the boat, or worse, once you're on the island with no way back, additional fees appear. Life jacket rental, a landing fee, a national park charge that may or may not be real, snorkel gear that was supposedly included. Ask exactly what's included before you pay anything. Get it confirmed in writing or at minimum photograph the price board, and treat any tour operator who's vague about what's included as a red flag. rather than an oversight. Hotel lobby tour desks and freelance travel agents run a quieter version of the same game. They'll happily book you an elephant camp visit, a shooting range trip, a day of ATVs, and pocket a commission that's baked into a price higher than what you'd pay booking directly. Not always a scam exactly, more just an invisible markup, but it adds up across a week's trip, and a 5-minute search on your phone before booking through the lobby desk usually saves you real money. SIM cards at the airport are worth mentioning too. Kiosks will sell you a tourist SIM at a markup, sometimes significant, banking on the fact that you want data working the second you land, and aren't going to comparison shop with a flight's worth of jet lag behind you. A 7-Eleven SIM in town costs a fraction of the airport price for the same data. The short change trick shows up in beer bars and street stalls more than people expect. You hand over a large note, the bartender takes it to get change, and comes back having quietly swapped it for a smaller denomination note, then hands you change based on the smaller amount while insisting that's what you gave them. It happens fast, it happens confidently, and it relies entirely on you not having clocked the exact note in your hand. Say the denomination out loud when you hand it over. That's 1,000. It sounds unnecessary until it's the exact sentence that stops this cold. And a quieter one worth flagging: card skimming inside legitimate-looking bars and restaurants, not just ATMs. A server takes your card out of sight to run it, and a compromised terminal or a hidden second swipe captures your details for cloning later. It's less common than the street-level scams on this list, but it's real enough that the safest habit is asking for a portable terminal to be brought to your table, which most places in Pattaya's tourist areas can actually do if you ask. Now, a quick word on the tourist police and the actual police, because people assume any uniform is automatically on their side, and in Pattaya specifically that assumption needs a caveat. The 1155 tourist police line exists for a reason, and generally does help foreigners with exactly these kinds of disputes: jet ski damage claims, unfair charges, that kind of thing. Use it. Save the number in your phone before you need it. But there's a separate, well-documented pattern of low-level shakedowns around minor traffic stops, particularly around international driving permits and rental helmets, where an on-the-spot fine gets suggested that's meant to go straight into a pocket rather than any official system. If you are ever unsure whether a request for cash is legitimate, ask for a formal ticket and the option to pay at the station. Legitimate officers will provide that without hesitation. The ones running a shakedown usually lose interest fast once formal paperwork enters the conversation, because paperwork means a paper trail, and a paper trail is the one thing that setup can't survive. Staged motorbike accidents are the uglier cousin of the rental deposit scam. Someone on a bike clips your rental, or simply falls off theirs near you and claims you caused it, and suddenly there's a crowd forming and an expectation that you'll pay compensation on the spot to make the situation go away. Sometimes it's genuine, most accidents in this town are, but the staged version relies entirely on you not knowing that walking to the nearest police box and insisting on an official report is always an option, and it's the thing that separates a real accident from a shakedown dressed up as one. One more, and it's a small one, but it's everywhere. Fake monks and street monks collecting donations outside temples and along busy tourist strips. Real monks in Thailand don't solicit money directly on the street like this. It goes against monastic conduct. So a robed figure actively pushing a donation box at passing tourists on Beach Road is almost always a costume, not a calling. Similarly, the friendship bracelet trick: someone ties a bracelet onto your wrist before you've agreed to anything and then demands payment for it, works because most people feel awkward refusing something already physically attached to them. Keep your hands to yourself around anyone approaching with string, incense, or a donation box, and if it's already on your wrist, take it off and hand it back rather than paying to avoid the awkwardness. Here's the pattern running underneath every single one of these. The environment is specifically built to keep you a few drinks past your best judgment, because your best judgment is the thing standing between you and every scam on this list. Every single story I just told you gets dramatically more likely to happen to you at 1 a.m. on your 6th beer than at 9 p.m. on your first. Not because the scammers are more active late. It's because you're a much easier mark once your guard's down, your math gets worse, and your willingness to just pay and make an awkward situation end goes way up. So here's the actual practical version of all of this. Not fear, just prep. Passport and cards in the hotel safe, not your pocket before you go out. Fixed cash budget for the night, decided while you're sober, and leave your main card and extra cash locked up regardless of how the night's going. Grab instead of flagged taxis or unmetered rides, photos of anything you rent, time-stamped, before you touch it. Prices confirmed out loud before drinks, food, or a rental agreement gets signed. And the second something feels like it's sliding toward a dispute, whether that's a bill, a bike, a jet ski, or a traffic stop, get calm, get clear, ask for an official process, and if it escalates, that's exactly what 1155 is for. None of this means Pattaya's some minefield you should avoid. Most nights here go completely fine for completely ordinary reasons. People who know the patterns I just walked you through and don't hand strangers a reason to test them. Know how these actually run, and you're simply not the guy these scams are designed to catch anymore. And if you take one thing away from this whole video, let it be this. Almost every scam on this list depends on speed and confusion. The guy pushing the gem store wants you moving fast toward a decision. The jet ski operator wants the damage claim landing before you've had time to think it through. The bar wants the bill arriving after you're already several drinks in and past the point of arguing hard. Slow the moment down. Ask for things in writing. Ask for a receipt. Ask for the meter. Ask for a police report. And almost every single one of these setups either falls apart or the person running it loses interest and moves on to someone easier. You don't need to be paranoid. You just need to be the tourist who asks one extra question before reaching for their wallet. I'm Gilbert, this is Across Asia. If you've had one of these happen to you or dodged one, drop it in the comments, because someone landing in Pattaya this week is about to need exactly that story before they walk down Beach Road with none of it. Subscribe, stay sharp, see you in the next one. So here's the actual practical version of all of this. Not fear, just prep. Passport and cards in the hotel safe, not your pocket before you go out. Fixed cash budget for the night, decided while you're sober, and leave your main card and extra cash locked up regardless of how the night's going. Grab instead of flagged taxis or unmetered rides, photos of anything you rent, time-stamped, before you touch it. Prices confirmed out loud before drinks, food, or a rental agreement gets signed. And the second something feels like it's sliding toward a dispute, whether that's a bill, a bike, a jet ski, or a traffic stop, get calm, get clear, ask for an official process, and if it escalates, that's exactly what 1155 is for. None of this means Pattaya's some minefield you should avoid. Most nights here go completely fine for completely ordinary reasons. People who know the patterns I just walked you through and don't hand strangers a reason to test them. Know how these actually run, and you're simply not the guy these scams are designed to catch anymore. And if you take one thing away from this whole video, let it be this. Almost every scam on this list depends on speed and confusion. The guy pushing the gem store wants you moving fast toward a decision. The jet ski operator wants the damage claim landing before you've had time to think it through. The bar wants the bill arriving after you're already several drinks in and past the point of arguing hard. Slow the moment down. Ask for things in writing. Ask for a receipt. Ask for the meter. Ask for a police report. And almost every single one of these setups either falls apart or the person running it loses interest and moves on to someone easier. You don't need to be paranoid. You just need to be the tourist who asks one extra question before reaching for their wallet. I'm Gilbert, this is Across Asia. If you've had one of these happen to you or dodged one, drop it in the comments, because someone landing in Pattaya this week is about to need exactly that story before they walk down Beach Road with none of it. Subscribe, stay sharp, see you in the next one.